Yeah, we back. We're gonna wait a little minute, let some people come in and all that. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna wait a little minute. Have some people come in before we like get started and all that. But for the ones that potentially could be seeing fire, good. I hope you're doing good. Hope your day is going good. I hope your week was good. If not, hopefully this makes it better. Welcome. Appreciate y'all coming through. If you're on YouTube, appreciate y'all coming through. Make sure you like and subscribe. Comment, let us know that you're here. And if you are on Facebook, comment, also like, share with your friends on both platforms. Like I said, let us know you're here. But what's good, Smooth family? It's your boy Be Smooth. You can't be smooth, then you gotta move. And this is Smooth Talk. I'm your host, Brandon, aka Be Smooth. My other host, my dad. Some of y'all know him as Carl or Pete, also known as Papa Smooth. So for today's, episode, we're gonna be talking about protecting your peace. I know this is like we're gonna get deep on this one, low key. But when it comes to protecting your peace, we're gonna get to the definition of that. Protecting your peace means actively safeguarding your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being by setting boundaries, removing yourself from negativity, and choosing what you allow to influence your inner world. It's the practice of choosing your calm over chaos, your clarity over confusion, and your healing over anyone's demands, dramas, or expectations.
Mm.
What does that mean to y'all? What does that mean to you when it comes to protecting your peace? Even though we just got the definition, but like everybody has their own little definition or way when it comes to that.
Me is that I refuse to let a whole bunch of stuff enter into my ears or my eyes and my brain, my thoughts, because really it is very important. A lot of times we see this stuff and we don't think twice about it sometimes. That it is very important that you push out all that negativity stuff, that negative stuff that don't mean nothing to you. A lot of times it means it's better for you to just get it out of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to be careful who you have in your circle, who you allow to disturb your peace and disturb, having you confused, having you all upset, pretty much getting you out of character in a way. You have to be careful who you allow in your circle. That could be family, friends, relationships, or just random people you don't even know. Because especially this generation, a lot of people tend to do that, where you just now it's more common where you see a lot of people starting to like separate themselves from like their family or like friends and things of that nature, just because your peace, you need that. At the end of the day, who's gonna take care of you but you? Can't nobody take better care of you but yourself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Katie said mine is isolation. Yeah, sometimes you need that. A lot of people be afraid to be by themselves or to speak their mind. There's nothing wrong with speaking your mind. You can still do it in a respectful way when it comes to that. But a question I have for y'all is, what part of you is still hurting that, you keep pretending is fine? Yeah, we getting deep with this one. We going deep on this.
Read it again.
What part of you is still hurting that you keep pretending is fine? Oh yeah, we
just it depends on the person, because it could be that heartache, that breakup in a marriage, and with divorce in a marriage, that breakup as boyfriend, girlfriend, or somebody in the family hurt you. It just sometimes it lingers for years, especially if you don't deal with it, it lingers for years and years and years.
Mm. Katie said grief and past trauma. Yep.
Yeah. Now, one thing about grief, especially somebody, when somebody passed away, if you're not careful, it will eat you alive, and eventually you will be unalive. Because word racing, it can take you out of here. Grief can take you out of here.
Yeah.
I know this mother, her son was unalived and passed away and stuff, and she was so hurt by it. Is when they found her, she had the picture of her son holding it. She was holding it like this, and she had passed away in her bed. Grief had took her out of here. A lot of time, what it is because we don't see them no more. It's because you got a relationship with them.
Yeah.
And it hurts.
For me, I would say part of it is grief. Like some of y'all do know that a year ago or two, I did recently lose somebody that dealt with the same thing that I dealt with. And at the end of the day, he was just a child. So I'm still like, to this day, kind of like recovering from that. It's not easy, but it happens.
Yep. Broken heart syndrome. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Joanna, hey, how you doing? Welcome to the Smooth Talk Podcast. Now, another question I have is, how many times have you abandoned yourself just to keep the peace with others? Whether that be, at any time period in your life.
Abandon myself?
Yeah.
Plenty of times. Just to keep the peace with others. And now, the age I'm at now, I sit there and wonder, what do I do that for?
Yeah.
Just to keep the peace with others. Sometimes you hold back really telling the truth to someone by doing that.
Mm-hmm. For me, I've done it all the time as well. Like even now, I try not to do it. I'm human, so we all human. It happens. Sometimes you might mess around and still end up doing it. But now I'm more quick to, if they're not willing to have a conversation or listen to what I'm talking about, then I just leave it where it's at. But I'm not finna go out my way to do all, to do extra X, Y, Z, whatever, just to keep peace with somebody. Because I'll tell you straight up front, if you don't like me, whether you let me know that or not, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not finna lose sleep over that. You know what I mean?
Man, no, I'm not losing sleep. I have learned and I have told myself that I'm not losing sleep over no one else. I'm not gonna lose no sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do all I can to protect this up here and to protect this behind this breastplate. I'm gonna do all I can. I refuse to fall back into that. But sometimes if you're not careful, they have a sense of control over you.
Yeah. Since you said something about that, key point I got to bring up is, stop fighting for, for space and places where you're only tolerated. Peace begins the moment you choose yourself, which is true. It's going to be, a lot of people have to understand this, especially if, whether you're a kid, teenager, or even young adults, because it happens. You have to be okay and comfortable with understanding that there's going to be a lot of people that's not going to like you. There is going to be people that will only tolerate you, and they're not the spaces you want to be in. Because then it's going to start to mess with you mentally, emotionally, then spiritually. And that's not something you want, which it goes back to, messing with your peace at the end of the day. And you don't need that. So stop trying to fight to be in, certain people's lives if they only tolerate you.
That's right. And this is one thing, because I had posted it. That's me right there. I'm not hanging around nobody that's always sad, mad, jealous, irritated, or offended about everything you ain't finna drain me.
Right.
I refuse to let you drain me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't been through that plenty of times. I refuse to go through that again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not hanging around nobody that's always, I mean, yes, we get sad sometime in our life. Yes, we get mad sometime. Yes, we get all that. We get irritated. Sometimes we get offended. Nah, I a lot of some people jealous. I don't get jealous. And but those right there would drain you. It would drain you. It would drain you. And I refuse to let that happen again. I don't been so irritated by stuff like that, sad and mad and back in the day jealous. So I be home. It ain't the job that drained me. It was just the people.
Mm-hmm. A key point that I'm going to bring up too is, distance is not disrespect. It's survival. Your mental and emotional safety comes first. And Danny was good. Can't be around energy vampires. Facts.
Yeah, sucking the life out you.
Right. Now, like I said about the, distance is not disrespectful and stuff like that. Survival. Your mental and emotional safety comes first. As a person, because I don't like excuse me, I don't like conflict. I don't. I'm the type of person that like I try to fix it. Maybe here and there, it like right then and there. It just depends on the situation. But I'm also like still adjusted to the fact that there's gonna be a lot of cases where I'm not able to do that. Where like I have to give it time, where I have to like distance myself for a little bit and then come back to it. It depending on who or what it is. If we decide to come back to the situation and talk about it and go about it in a healthy way, then yeah. But if it's going down in a negative direction, I'm not gonna waste my time doing that. But don't be scared to separate yourself and thinking that like, oh, they're gonna see it as disrespect. If they do take it that way, that's on them. But at the end of the day, your peace is more important. You do not want to be in the grave somewhere over stress.
He say when I isolate, that is when I really choose myself. I have to be able to process all the emotions I'm going through. I know my friends are there for me and will talk to me to help me get through. So I don't mean to push them away.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody just joining us, welcome. I seen Pastor James jump in, welcome. And everybody else that just climbing aboard on today. Appreciate you all today. We thank you all. We welcome you all. We also thank you all at the same time.
Okay, thank you enough. You could be doing anything else, but you're here with us, and we appreciate it. And if you don't know what we're talking about protecting your peace, which is a conversation a lot of people need to have. And I know a lot of people don't like having those uncomfortable conversations, but at the same time, it's needed. You never know what somebody's going through. That's why we advise y'all to, comment if you feel comfortable doing it, just because you could potentially be helping somebody that could be going through the same thing you're going through.
Because you never know.
Yeah, you never know. What would you do to digress? I isolate and chill on my back porch, swing, enjoy the fresh air. Me, I listen to music. Other than talking to God, I like listening to music, or I like watch anime, get on the game, or it's special people I have in my life that I talk to and stuff like that, or I talk to my dad. So that's what I do.
Me,
or dance.
When he's too busy back there. Sometimes I be sitting and just listen to this dude right here be back there just killing himself, man. And but me growing up in my era, I watched drag racing. I used to do it legally, illegally too, but drag racing, I watch basketball sometimes, but most of the time I will watch something that I really like and love to watch, because I get key points out of a lot of stuff. One of my favorite movies is Bike Boys, especially the message in that. One of my other ones is Breaking, Boogaloo 2. That's part 2 of Breaking and stuff. I watch a variety of stuff. Yeah. Then sometimes I watch some anime. Sometimes like what was that on the other night? The Princess and the Frog. Princess and Frog. Now, When I watch that, I watch for a couple of things because I like to laugh at that doggone lightning bug.
You talking Disney animation? Yeah.
Oh, well, that lightning bug is funny, Ramon. That dude is funny. Him and the alligator.
But yeah, you
But
got
I watched different stuff, you know. Then when I really want to really digress, then I jump on the computer and I might be working on a flyer or something we get ready to do, and I turn some music on.
yeah.
And sometimes like Brandon come in here and I be listening to a certain type of music. I said, this where the music, like where Tupac got his song from. This is the original music from that.
Mm-hmm. Then he said that's what's always good to have something. Yeah, you gotta have something. Dancing for sure is like one of mine though. Sometimes it can be someone else. She said, really, I used to also motorcycle.
Yeah, me too.
Car.
I had a motorcycle too, bro.
Yeah. You like that. So the question I got for y'all is, who did you have to become to survive? And is that version of you still protecting you or hurting you now? Or both? You need to repeat it again.
Yeah.
Who did you become to survive? And is that version of you still protecting you or hurting you now? Or both?
It's mainly protecting.
Mm. For me, are you about to?
A lot of times we got to get to a place where we are a better version of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
No competition. I don't care nothing about no competition. You got a better car than me, fine. Whatever. You got a better place you stay in, better than fine. That's your choice, not mine. You know, I'm not going to sit here and get out of my character where I have gotten built myself up to not have that as a hindrance. I build myself up to be this. So you got all that, I'll celebrate with you. I ain't one of them type that, and they think they something because they got it. I ain't that type. I'm happy for you if you got it.
Yeah, for me, I would say it's a combination of both. I'm gonna be a little bit transparent. The reason why I say that is because I'm still protecting myself, but it's also like hurting me. And why I say that is because like coming from my background dealing with sickle cell and stuff like that, it's a little difficult to adjust, and I'm still like adjusting to it. That's why I appreciate the people that are in my life that do have patience with me, and I let them know that because I realize that it's a lot of people in my life that aren't trying to hurt me versus the ones that did or are trying to. But the ones that aren't trying to hurt me, I'm not trying to like push them away, but I end up like doing stuff that like kind of causes me to do it. But then I have to like sit back and catch myself, or they just let me know straight up, and then I'm like, yeah, I apologize for that, and break it down to them as to why I am that way, or whatever. But Katie said I had to be a stronger person mentally. I kind of feel like it's doing a little of both. Yeah. So that's why I said that, because like for some people, it could be they protect themselves. For them, it could be hurting them, or it could be both. Danny said, "Mad respect for the outlook. It's not found often. That's what's up. Yeah, it's not found often. It's not. But yeah, you got to.
You said that right. It's not found often.
It really isn't. So,
boy, that is something right there.
Danny said, just keeping them at a distance it's self-prevention. Yeah, preservation. My fault. But yeah, it is. Sometimes you got to keep a distance, depending on the situation and what's going on. So it depends when it comes to that. So another question I got is, what are you afraid will happen if you finally choose yourself? I know some people are like, I'm not afraid to choose myself, but there's some people that do feel that way. So that's why I ask these questions.
Man, these folks be mad hateful if you choose yourself. That's what always trips me out. What you mad for?
Me personally, I'm not really scared when it comes to like choosing myself for it. Been doing it for so long. So I'm not really like too much afraid of choosing myself. The only thing I can say I'm probably, well, I don't say probably, the only thing I am scared of is like pushing people away that, like I said before, that's not trying to harm me in no way, shape, or form, that really want to be there. That's the only thing I'm like scared of when it comes to that. But other than that, I'm not really afraid when it comes to that, for real. So yeah, but key point I gotta bring up because I'm gonna wait till y'all go. Somebody put it that no one will love me. It's a lot of people that feel that way, Kitty. Trust me, it's a lot of people that feel like, no one loves them. And if you're watching this, just know that you are loved. Now, if religious and stuff like that, God loves you and stuff like that. If you're not, that's perfectly fine too. We don't judge you over here. It's perfectly fine. But you are loved. You have people that care about you and do love you. The ones that are in your life that stick by you, they love you, bro. I know some people feel like they might be a burden or whatever the case may be, or they ain't trying to bother nobody. You ain't bothering them, bro.
Nope. So I choose my kids first and then myself. I've been alone for so long, it would be an adjustment to choose someone else. To be honest, that would be the difficult part.
Mm-hmm.
It's few people like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult. It's never easy, and that's what a lot of people don't talk about, is that it's not easy when it comes to either opening up or when it comes to protecting your peace and things of that nature. Nobody really prepares you for that, which is something we do need to start doing and start teaching, especially kids in the younger generation, like after me and before me and stuff like that. Or the same age as me, I meant. Yeah, we have to like start teaching them how to protect their peace. And when it comes to opening up and having those uncomfortable conversations, that it's okay. So I do hope that's something that does happen. But the point I gotta bring up is, forgive yourself for the times you abandoned your own heart. You were surviving. Now it's time to live. You gotta forgive yourself. Give yourself grace. We don't do that enough.
Some people struggle with that.
Yeah, a lot of people struggle with that. A lot of people do.
Forgiving themselves, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, a lot of people struggle.
Yeah, a lot of people struggle with that. I mean, struggle.
And it's bad. Whether you believe it or not, it does happen behind closed doors, whether you know somebody personally going through it or you yourself is going through it. But it does happen. That's the fact right there. What you said, protecting your peace. I'm a 74 baby. So I'm old school.
All right, old school. Welcome.
Appreciate you coming through. Yeah, you gotta give yourself grace and you gotta forgive yourself.
Yes,
Even if they don't forgive you and stuff like that. Like I said, if you're religious, pray about it, but also you have to forgive yourself. If you don't, you just gonna be stuck in this whole mindset and you gonna go down the wrong path.
And if you're just joining us, y'all, this is the topic right here, protecting your peace.
We appreciate y'all coming through.
This
is the Smooth Talk Podcast. Like I said before, my name is Brandon, aka Be Smooth. And my other host, my dad, Carl. Some may know him as Pete, but also that's Papa Smooth. We appreciate y'all coming through. But
now, before you go further, one thing that I have seen and I have good evening. Hey, June, how you doing? One thing that I have seen and I have learned is that this is no knock to anybody else of young people or middle-aged people, whatever, is that sometimes when I be on TikTok, they be on sometimes, be wilding out on them. And I don't be going to his page like that to see what they're talking about. Sometimes when I'm just strolling through, just watching different videos, they'll pop up. And sometimes I sit there and listen. And I text them last night. I said, what is in there cooking?
Oh yeah. Oh, yes.
I was cooking. I'm like, boy. But they sit and they talk about different things like a family, like you sit down. Like it's not they all at the family reunion, just sitting there, just talking.
Just chopping it up.
And that's what I admire about it. Then sometimes I hear him back there laughing. I be here laughing at him. He just don't be knowing. And I said, I was messing with him one time. I said, I'm gonna jump in this conversation. They don't even know I'm in here. But I don't be in them. I just see it, and then I just stroll on. Because some conversations, they're talking, even though I know it's live on TikTok, they're talking. One of these days I'm gonna jump in on the conversation though. Just giving y'all fair warning. Coming in hot when I come in there too. Now just feeling.
So a key point that I gotta bring up is stop reopening doors that God, life, or your own spirit closed for a reason. Peace lives on the other side of letting go. Yeah,
They love reopening them doors though.
Yeah, stop reopening the doors. The people that you let go in the past, I get it. Certain things happen where y'all have to keep communication depending on what is going on and stuff like that. But the majority of people that you don't have to communicate with, don't do it. They left in the past for a reason. Just leave them back there.
Just leave them back there.
If they change and they, and you see that, which you still got to be careful because they, it can be deceiving. So sometimes you got to be careful with that. But if they did change and they wouldn't have a conversation and fix y'all relationship as friends, family, marriage, or whatever, then y'all do that. What you got?
Why can't you leave them doors closed? They're closed for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
They are closed for a reason. They're not meant to be opened back up. They're closed for a reason. So when you open them doors back up, so you open them doors back up for hurt, pain, disappointment, aggravation, being taken advantage of, manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about manipulation like a couple weeks ago. Manipulation, deceit, deception. The list can go on. So you open that wound back up. After it's been sealed, you open that wound back up. Why? That's my question.
All right.
People don't change. I don't think they do. I've experienced people have personal growth, but still got childish tendencies. Some of them do. Now, I have to agree with that because some of them can be, and they older than me, be 6 or something, but they still got a child mentality in mind. Yes, we joke around. Yes, we play. Yes, we do all that stuff right there. But at the same time, your mind should be changing at the same time. Just saying.
Yeah. So a question I got is, in what ways have you been silenced? And how has that shaped the way you love or trust?
Let y'all answer that.
For me, like the ways I've been silenced, I either, got dismissed or, probably got told I was like a burden or whatever and stuff like that. But I didn't let that stop me from really loving and trusting people. Like when it came, I ain't gonna say I'm completely 100. Nobody will ever be completely 100% healed. That's just the reality we live in. But it's a little bit more easier now, somewhat. Now I'm not saying I don't mess up. And I'm not saying that there's not times where I may miss. I may be wrong and, get the wrong call and be like, yo, I don't really trust this person. But in reality, I have every right to trust this person because they ain't doing nothing to me because I'm human. It happens. But, yeah, I would say those are like certain ways for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because it happens. A lot of you be forgetting, like, bro, we are human at the end of the day. None of us will ever be perfect. And that should not be the goal, is to be perfect. If you do, you're going to be at that for the rest of your life.
Rest of your life. And you're going to be just miserable.
Mm-hmm. You kind of be this perfect image for everybody, it's never gonna happen because everyone's gonna have something to say. You gonna have a problem regardless. So that's why you shouldn't be focused on what your ties back into, protecting your peace. It literally ties right back into it. But another question is, who taught you that your needs were too much, and why did you believe them? You can repeat it.
Some people got manipulated in life, even in the families. Family members can manipulate you too.
Yeah.
Don't never count that out as they can't do this and can't do that, because family will manipulate you if they can, if you allow them to, and if they can.
Yeah. You gotta, yeah. So for a lot of us, I would say it's manipulation when it comes to that. A lot of people have been manipulated, whether like you said, family, or it can be your friends, or the main thing I've seen is family and like relationships. That's where I see it the most. At least that's from my experience. Your experience may be different, but that's mainly where I've seen it. To where they would tell them that their problems don't matter, or it's not that big of a deal, or it's more important things going on than what they got going on. At the end of the day, that's that's their mental health. So it's important. Don't dismiss that, especially like when it comes to like children, which I'm gonna do an episode about that, about kids' mental health and stuff like that, or whatever they got to say being dismissed. Because adults love to say that that whole, oh, you too young to be stressed and this and that. There, you don't know what that child is going through.
Not this day and age.
Yeah, it's worse.
A lot of people don't know. It's a lot of families with kids that are homeless.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they come to school and they dress nice and neat, don't mean they stay in the house. They could be staying in the car. A lot of people are homeless. A lot of people have lost their jobs and struggling right now.
Mm-hmm.
They fighting for the next paycheck, the next food bit to put on the table, the next job. Some of them are fighting for, as they say, fighting for their life to make it in this world as of today that we are dealing with and that we are seeing right now. Don't take it for granted. I know y'all hear a lot of stuff with the administration and the president and all what they're doing. I ain't gonna get into all that politics stuff, not right now anyway. But trust me, that stuff is going on for real.
Mm-hmm.
And the sad part about it, a lot of people thought it was not going to affect them, but now it do.
And
now it matters. Go right on my shirt. Doesn't matter to you until it affects you.
Even that ties into like protecting your peace as well, because you have to be careful like what you consume. Whether that be, physically consuming something, or like you watching something or hearing something, whatever the case may be, yes, still be informed and, be aware of your unawares and stuff like that, but don't consume too much of that, because then it's gonna start to disrupt your peace, and it's gonna cause you to have negative thoughts and whatever else, comes behind it. But which it kind of ties into this right here is keep your your circle clean. Surround yourself with people who respect your peace, not disrupt it.
That's right.
You gotta surround yourself with people that respect it, that respect your peace, and respect that it may be times where you might distance yourself from them because you need to work on whatever it is you need to work on. But it ain't no love lost, it ain't no beef or any ill intent towards one another. It's just I need to distance myself for a little bit, and they cool with that.
You said something right there. You said keep your circle clean.
Mm-hmm.
I hope y'all heard what he said. Keep your circle clean. You don't need all that mess and that negative talk and that envy mess going on around it. Somebody envying you, somebody always jealous of you, somebody always in competition with you.
Holding grudges.
Holding grudges. Keep your circle clean.
You feel a whole lot better.
A whole lot better. Because if your circle is clean, that means it's a lot of positive vibes going on inside this circle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just saying it because that's my son or even my daughters would say it. I've seen that with my own two eyes. Um, my family, some of my family, some of my friends. I wish I had mine so you could see it with your own eyes. I play that, but that's something that you have to monitor because you can have a clean circle. Everybody don't have the same set of friends. Somebody can creep in through that clean circle friend and contaminate that whole circle.
You wondering why everybody falling out with each
Falling out, they mad, cussing each other out, and all that. Then you be like, man, what happened? What happened? Then when you rewind everything inside your head and start looking back, you see where it came in at.
Mm-hmm. And even when it comes to that, this kind of ties into it a little bit, but even when it comes to your children, you know, pay attention to the friends they have, and you know, even if you tell them not to hang with some, you know, a certain crowd or certain kids and stuff like that, don't just say because I said so, bro. That's not really helping the situation. The best way to go about that, I mean, kids gonna be kids at the end of the day, but the best way to go about that is give them the reason and tell them the reason why.
Why?
I mean, just be honest with them. Don't try to sugarcoat it. Just tell them like what it is. That way they understand and they can comprehend what's going on. Even, you know, depending on the age and stuff like that, kids are very smart.
Very smart. She said, I definitely do that. Once I see weird energy, I disconnect from them. Me too,
Mhm.
kitty.
Me too. Stop
I pull away from you right quick.
Yep. So I get some weird energy. I distance myself because I can't be around it. I don't want to be around it.
It pulls you down.
Mm-hmm. But another point I got to bring up is don't absorb problems that aren't yours. Empathy is good. Carrying other people's burden is not.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm. You gotta don't absorb other people's problems and stuff like that. It's not yours. You know, like I said, empathy is good and all that, but you trying to carry that other person's burdens and stuff like that, don't do it.
Nope.
Just don't do it. You're gonna hurt yourself if you do that. That's not something you want to do. Ooh, excuse me. Question I have for y'all is what version of peace do you deserve and what version have you been settling for?
Wait on y'all.
If you need to repeat it, is what version of peace do you deserve and what version have you been settling for? That's you know, if you don't know how to answer that, that's perfectly fine. You know, if you don't know how to answer that question quite yet. I don't know yet. See? I mean, hey, it'd be like that.
It sure do.
It do be like that. I don't know. I would say back then, like now it's a different story. Like now I probably don't know now, but back then it was certain family members probably, you know, was looking for an apology, but then, you know, came to peace with it and I just accepted it for what it was. And just settled for the simple fact of like I'm not gonna get an apology. So
one thing I stopped looking for is people apologizing.
mm-hmm.
I stopped looking for that. Because everybody's not going to apologize. Everybody's not going to come and say, well, you know, man, you know, I'm sorry, man, you know, everybody. Sometimes your greatest apology comes from you apologizing to yourself, not to deal with that no more, not to go through that no more, not allow that to come back in my life like that no more. That's the best apology you can do for your own sake and your mentality and your heart.
Yeah. Now, another question I have is what emotions do you hide because you fear they'll make you look weak?
Being weak.
I feel you on that. Because like even with me dealing with the stuff I be dealing with, you know, sickle cell and stuff like that, even though he know when I'm not doing okay and stuff like that. But even though I don't be in my head thinking like, oh, he just gonna beat me weak. Nah, I don't ever think that. It's just the ambition I have and the drive I have to like do this by myself. That's where I be messing myself up at. Because I'm like, bro, you have people that care about you and love you that can bring you peace if you just let them know what's going on with you. So yeah, crying too. I mean, you gotta be careful who you cry around because not everybody can't be around at your highest and at your lowest. So I definitely feel you on that. But yeah, that too. Like there's certain people I'm cool with crying in front of, and then there's certain people I'm just like, yeah, I'll probably like hold it off until I get like by myself or whatever. Just because of that. But
Cry and let it out.
yeah.
That helps get some of that pain that's entrapped inside of you out.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
I laugh a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Even when somebody say, man, you just weak. Not just because I walk away from stuff, that don't make me weak. I ain't got time to entertain that. Know how tiring that is.
You explain yourself over and over.
I've been at this point for a while though. Really, I could care less what you think.
Which that goes into this point right here is
care less, you say what you want to say.
Feel how you want to feel.
When I lay down and say my prayers and go to sleep, I'm going to sleep. I ain't worried about what you have said to me or about me. I'm not even worried about it because I have set my mind free from what you're trying to push inside of me. And I refuse to let you push that inside of me. So that's why you're mad at me because I didn't give you the reaction that you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So the reaction you're going to get from me is, well, okay, that's how you feel? Okay.
If it's nothing positive to help you be a better person, then you shouldn't be consuming it. If it's just straight negative or they're trying to get a specific reaction out of you, because there is people that do that. And it's wild because like they try to get you out of character or whatever, and when they don't get it, they get mad, and then they try to project onto you and say you doing this or whatever people end up be saying. But that goes into this, which is stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Some people don't want clarity; they want control.
Ooh. So everybody just tuning in, we welcome each and every one of y'all. This is the topic right here today. The topic right here today, protecting your peace on the Smooth Talk podcast. That's the topic of today. You might want to read that one more time, man.
Stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Some people don't want clarity; they want control.
Control. That's another thing about manipulation. Control.
Mm-hmm. You see it a lot in families. I know we keep going back to that, but that's because everybody is going. A lot of people is going through that, whether you believe it or not. There is people that go through this stuff, but it'd be from families, it'd be from relationships or marriage or whatever. It'd be from friendships or just random people. But the main ones is the first three I just said.
Now, I went back and put up my old notes. I'm surprised I still got it. My old notes from a couple weeks ago when I talked about manipulation. Now, check this out right here. I want y'all to check this out. What's going on? I talked about manipulation. He was talking about control.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a world obsessed with control. With truth is twisted and emotions are weaponized. There's a dark power at work, one that doesn't need potions, candles, or spells. It's manipulation. That's why you got to protect your peace, like you said. That's why you got to protect it at all costs. A lot of people don't believe in witchcraft. A lot of people don't believe in voodoo and all that kind of stuff. But that stuff is real. Even the Bible talks about it. That stuff is real. If that stuff wasn't real, you ever been to New Orleans? Why do New Orleans have a voodoo cemetery? Why do some people, famous people, hang around witches? It ain't real.
Yeah. So at this point, I gotta bring up is
with that 6-7 stuff.
whole situation.
So I was explaining to the young people this morning in Sunday school. It's a ritual. They think a lot of them think it's cool. Y'all need a lot of y'all don't like to look into certain stuff. Maybe you need to start reading. And when you hear certain phrases, maybe you should look it up to see what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You learn a whole lot.
This point I gotta bring up is let go of what you can't change. Acceptance frees your mind from unnecessary battles, which is true. And not recently. I mean, I already knew that, but a situation that was going on, I recently got told that, which is facts. You know, you gotta let go of the things that you can't change and come to peace with it. You'll feel a whole lot better.
Because you can't change people. You can't make people do this. You can't make your family do this. You can't even make your siblings. You got sisters and brothers do nothing. Aunts, uncles, grandma and grandfather, fathers, mother, father, sister and brother. It doesn't matter. You can't change people. People got and people got to want to change. Let me just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's a choice. You have a choice in this world.
You always got a choice. It just depends on what you're gonna do.
It depends on what you want to do.
Whatever you do, just try to do the right thing. But also come to peace with understanding that you're not always gonna make the right decisions. You're gonna disappoint people. You're gonna upset people. You're gonna fail sometimes and stuff like that. That's another thing you have to come to peace with and understand. Like it is okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. It happens, bro.
You're gonna mess up.
You're not gonna be perfect. You're not gonna always make the right decisions. You're not always gonna do the right thing. You're gonna disappoint people. You're gonna let people down. It happens.
It happens.
It happens. You got to come to peace with that. You just gotta kind of learn how to handle that and move forward in life. But where's that question at? The question I have is: do you treat yourself with the same compassion you expect from others?
And I do. I don't know about everybody else.
Yeah, I know some people. Like I said before, some people are like, "Why are you asking?" It's like it's no brainer. No, it's not for a lot of people.
Some people treat their others than they treat their own selves.
Exactly. So that's why I ask these questions. Because this is stuff that goes on in the world if you really paying attention to it for real. But for me, yeah, the way I treat myself, I do not treat myself compared to how, I be expecting it from others. Sure, I love my life.
Doggone right.
I might not be happy all the time, but hey, I'm still gonna push through. I ain't gonna, treat somebody completely better. I'm over here treating myself like trash. I ain't doing that.
Hmm.
Not saying that anything is wrong with anybody that is going through that because it takes time to get out of that mindset and to heal from that. But just know you do not have to do that. You don't. Kitty said, "No, I don't. I'm the hardest on myself." It be like that. You can be hard on yourself at times. It happens. Ties into giving yourself breaks. You was gonna say something?
This I might have to do one about this, just to get some response.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen people, men and women, they can love somebody way more than themselves, and then when they break up, first thing out their mouth, "Well, I don't know how to love myself." And I still have the hardest time trying to figure out how was you able to love somebody else, but you can't love yourself.
Yeah.
I can't figure that out. But not saying I'm trying to figure it out. I don't really understand that.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I really don't. I don't understand. You can love the mess out somebody else, but when it comes to you, you don't even love yourself like that.
I feel like it's a lot behind it, but I feel like they be under the impression that it won't bleed out to that person showing that they don't love themselves, but it actually does. It'll bleed out, and they'll see that you don't love yourself for real, whether you believe it or not. It'll show, you know. But that's why you have to love yourself. And like I said before, like earlier, you have to be okay with being by yourself at times. That's when you learn a lot about yourself. You actually heal, grow, and you come to peace with who you are as a person and who you want to be as a person moving forward. Sasha said, I know I'm hard on myself more than anything. Yeah, we all gotta give ourselves grace.
Mm-hmm.
We can be our own worst enemy.
Yeah, I say that all the time.
Literally. You yourself can be your own worst enemy. You can talk yourself, they say it all the time. You can talk yourself into some stuff, you can talk yourself out of some stuff. So you just gotta, it's not gonna be easy. This thing we call life, it would never be easy.
Mm-mm.
But you do the best you can to keep moving forward, make great memories with people and stuff like that, and just be a great person overall. Don't aim to be perfect though. Don't do that. So here's a pretty deep question I got is whose love are you chasing and people who can't give it? And I ask that for a reason whether it can be because you never know because kids do be watching this or like teenagers and young adults and adults. All ages watch this, so that's why I asked that because you got some that be looking for it from their parents or from their relationship or whoever. So that's why I asked that question. But whose love are you chasing and people who can't give it?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Who love are you chasing? Are you chasing your love? Are you chasing to be loved by somebody? Or are you chasing somebody to love more than you love yourself?
It happens. That's why I asked. I had to ask. I told y'all we was getting a little deep on this one, and I know it can be uncomfortable for some people. But you in the judge-free area, you cool over here. You ain't gotta worry about nothing. But yeah, for me, it's not so much as I'm trying to like chase love from people and stuff like that. Whether you love me or not, I know if you do or you don't. But I'm not finna, worry about it and stuff like that.
Mm-mm.
Not just because my experience is different from yours. That don't make me a better person than you. No, because like I said, everybody's journey is different. You don't know what anybody has went through unless they tell you. You never know. So just because I said it, I know some people gonna try to like take that out of proportion and be like, "Oh, he must be saying he better." No, I'm not better than nobody. I will never be better than nobody. Look at everybody, equally and stuff like that. Just because a person may have more than me or less than me, I don't. I'm not.
I said earlier, you got more than me, fine.
Yeah. He said first it was parents, now it's myself. See, that's why I had to say it. See, Kitty was being honest about it. She said it was her parent. Now it's just herself. So that's why I asked her. But hold up. So the point I gotta bring up is set boundaries without guilt. Protecting your peace starts with saying no to what drains you and yes to what centers you. I'll repeat it again. Set boundaries without guilt. Protecting your peace starts with saying no to what drains you and yes to what centers you. It's hard to say no sometimes to people. I get it.
Yeah, it's hard to say no.
And sometimes it hurts to say no. But you have to do it sometimes. I get it. Sometimes you want to spare their feelings and all that. I get it. Trust me, I do. I'm the same way. But sometimes you gotta say no. Depending on what's going on. You got to.
Somebody got to do it.
Right. And this other key point that I gotta bring up is, guard your energy like it's valuable because it is. Not everyone deserves access to you. That's facts. That's straight facts. Not everybody deserves access to you.
Nope.
You can't give access to
And
everything.
I heard a pastor talking about. Matter of fact, I think it was Pastor Philip talking about that. No one, everyone does not deserve that access to you. They don't. I don't care who it is. They don't. In a marriage, that's different. We're not talking about marriage
All right.
because your husband or wife do need access to you. I'm talking about people, other people, and even in the marriage part, they don't need a lot of access to you even in a marriage because you got to be careful with that because you could let something enter into that marriage that has no business in that marriage. But everybody does not deserve that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we cool, but you can't have access to me like you want to.
Mm-hmm. Gotta be careful with that.
You gotta be very careful with that.
So here's a question, which is, which wounds do you keep reopening because you miss who hurt you? I asked this stuff for a reason, like I said before. We getting deep with this because there's people who like that pain, or that they like to play the victim role, or
They live off that.
or they miss what they had before, that was toxic or whatever, knowing that it's hurting them, but they keep going back to it for some reason. Everybody's reasoning can be different, but it just depends on who you are as a person, what you got going on. But yeah, for me, I'll be open. I don't miss people that hurt me. I'm not gonna go back to that. Like, nah.
I'm not gonna open this stuff back up, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you don't have surgery on your wounds that you've been hurt and all that kind of stuff, why cut this thread out of it?
Mm-hmm. Sasha said it was everyone at first because I just wanted to fit in, but now it's me, and I should have been loving myself more instead of trying to be and do what everyone else wanted. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and we appreciate you for sharing that with us, Sasha. Because,
Yep.
like I said, you never know. Everybody's life is different. Some can be experiencing the same thing. Never know.
And on that note, we just do a quick little commercial.
Smooth family. We appreciate y'all for being here. We're still talking about protecting your peace. We appreciate everybody for coming in here, showing love and being here with us because you could be doing anything else, but you're here with us and we appreciate it very much. And like I said before, we talking about protecting your peace. So this other question I have is, in what moments do you feel the smallest and why do you stay there?
Growing up, but even my 20s, just around certain people,
Mm-hmm.
I felt the smallest.
Yep. I would say when I was a kid, like being in school and stuff like that, or hanging around with friends, and things of that nature, dealing with sickle cell and stuff like that, kind of somewhat felt the smallest, only because at a point I wanted to be normal, but then I had to come to peace and accept the fact that I am not normal, and that is perfectly fine. And yeah, so I would say that was for me. As far as like, do I stay there? Nah. Everybody, like I said before, everybody experiences different. Some people still stay there, some people don't. For me, I don't stay there. Like I said before, I came to peace and understand with me having sickle cell, understand that I'm not gonna be able to do certain things as much as anybody else can. or do the same things to other people. It might take me a little longer to do certain things, but still put in the work at the end of the day.
And that can be very dangerous.
Yeah, lead you to depression, anxiety, then you possibly turn to drugs or hurting yourself, and that's something we do not want for anybody. And if you're going through that, pray that things get better. It's not going to be easy, but just know you are loved, and you have people around you that do care about you. We love you, even though you may not know us, we may not know you, but we love you at the end of the day. But on that note,
Hope you don't flip to drugs and stuff, because
yeah,
I'm, I'm straight up honest with you. It's a lot of young people that are on drugs, and the way they are doing stuff now, it's a lot of stuff mixed in these drugs that it can make you hallucinate. It can make you see stuff that's not there,
memory loss,
and all kinds of stuff.
schizophrenic and all that. Sickle cell, North Carolina, was good.
It's happening. And drugs is not the way.
If you can find it.
Me personally, I used to drink back in the day, smoke weed a few times, but drugs, heavy drugs, I was never a proponent for that. I was never. For one, I was playing basketball, and I played basketball all for a long time. Even when he was born, they call it industrial league here in the country. But that's when other jobs would play against each other, basketball and stuff. And I was still playing way up into my 30s. When I had Brandon was 30. I was 30 when I had Brandon. So I was still playing, I think, even when he was 6 years old.
Yeah.
So that put me around 36, 37. I was still playing ball.
I remember going to some of them games.
Yeah, taking some of the games.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I said before, we get it. Everybody go through something, and some people they may smoke weed for anxiety, and or medical stuff, or whatever the case may be. We get that wholeheartedly. But like you said, like the heavy stuff and all that, that ain't the way, bro. That's not the way.
I mean, they got fentanyl mixing this stuff. They got because I watch shows like that on TV. And I know people stay away. I watch entertaining stuff sometimes, but I watch them when they talking to these drug dealers. They have the face and stuff covered and everything, and they show you the streets. What's that? Fentanyl. I don't know how to get some of this stuff, but they get the fentanyl. They show you that. Then they show you the street oxycodone or oxycontin. They show you this stuff, meth. They show the street value. Those pills look just like the pills, almost like the original pills you get out of the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
That's how clever they are. And with the natural eye, if you're not trained to see that, you would think it's the same pain pill that you get from the hospital, but it's not.
Anybody that may be suffering through addiction, just know that you got people that do love you, that do want to see you do better, and that do want to help. But you have to want, to help yourself, and it's not going to be an easy journey, but you definitely can do it for sure.
Yeah, and you have to be careful with that, because I was telling Brandon one time, because of my knee, I would take the pain pills that I had, like the Tylenol and stuff. And even when I wasn't hurting, I was still taking it. And I caught myself. I said, I'm gonna mess around and be addicted to that. See, I caught myself. Yeah, a lot of people they won't do that because they like that feeling of that medicine.
And just because a person may be addicted to something, may be addicted to something, that does not make them less of a person. It does not make them less human.
No, you just try to help them.
Yeah, don't look down on them and to they less than or anything like that. Don't ever in your life do that. 'Cause what if that was you? You wouldn't want somebody to do that to you. Sasha said, "No, it's not easy. In high school, I lost to one. I lost to one of the only family members who encouraged me to stay true to myself, and I went in a Great Depression state, and I self harmed myself. Sorry to hear that, because I felt like there was something I could have done to prevent her death, even when there wasn't. Yeah, that's a hard feeling to get across. Feeling like you could have prevented it and stuff like that, and could have did something different. It's a hard feeling. Trust me, we've all been there. I'm sorry that you had to go through what you went through. Anybody else that may be going through that, we pray that it gets better, and it will get better with time. And as long as you're trying to heal from it, hey, that's all that matters.
And protecting your peace. Don't allow the devil or anybody to mess with your head saying just get drunk or go and do some drugs or smoke this or do that, sniff this. That does not create peace. That's beginning to create a habit of an addiction.
Yeah. Whether it be, you take your own life or, harming yourself and stuff like that. Anybody could become a victim to it. Anybody. Anybody. I wish people stop acting like there's a specific type of person that can fall into that. Literally anybody can fall into that. But
you just have to be strong.
And it's not
walk
easy.
Away.
You're right. It's not easy to become like that mentally strong. And just because you might not be that mentally strong yet, does not make the other person better than you. Because like I said, they could be, everybody's going through something, they just know how to hide it better than you. There's some people that look perfectly fine, but they might be addicted to something. You never know. Or whatever they got going on. They just might hide it. But on that note, we appreciate everybody coming through. What you got coming up, man?
Well, probably in December, because it's about to be the end of the month for us at the dealership. So we have to work the fifth Sunday. And but we starting to kick back with the open mic, talking about we're going through Revelation, and we're gonna talk about certain videos that we see. And it is rough out here, but when I come back as far as doing real talk conversations, I'm gonna talk about one or two things: either overcoming self-doubt or deception. That's what I'm planning on coming back with when we start back up and get this thing jumping again. This time of year, and I know it's the holidays, and everybody spend time with your family. Spend time with you. Hope you have a very happy Thanksgiving. Be thankful that you're still here. Don't worry about no freaking presents for Christmas and all this kind of stuff. You should just be thankful that you're still alive. And I know during Thanksgiving, I was talking about in Sunday school, these right here, more people and kids, especially kids, on them than you would the adults, because that's where their mindset is at, social media and all this kind of stuff. But Thanksgiving is coming this week. We hope everyone if you're traveling, be safe, be careful out there. I know we already invited my cousin. I already said come down there and eat again. Now Miss Henrietta, and it's always, we bring back like 4 or 5 plates when we come back, right? That way we ain't got to cook. But still might cook a little something for a year, but I don't think so. Not the food they be having.
But probably coming up, I do need to get some of the videos from my other social medias and put them on here. Trying to think.
Oh, planning on going TikTok too.
Yeah, that's not
even. We just have to set the
phone up. Yeah,
phone up like when he first started.
So
it can be live on TikTok too.
yeah, so y'all might not see those comments because the comments that y'all put in that y'all be seeing popping up be from Facebook and YouTube.
Mhm.
It's just the only difference is you're not gonna be able to see it from TikTok unless they change that on here.
I might figure something out with that. I'm still
Yeah.
working on that.
So
Because when we did it on when we first did it on Facebook, I figured out a way how to do it. Y'all couldn't see the comment, but I figured another way out how to do it.
yeah, so we'll get that right. Y'all know the dance videos and all this other stuff. I'm gonna drop one because I did a little hat trick. It was pretty cool. I told you I got some heat for y'all, but hey, we do appreciate you coming through. Though. It's a lot we cooking up, you know. It's a lot we got going on. And if anybody ever want to be a part of any episodes and stuff like that, feel free to let us know if there's any episode you want us to cover or anything you want to do. You want to share your story, you know, you have the spotlight. By all means, let us know.
Or send us a topic.
Yeah, you know, send us a topic you want us to do.
I ain't talking about no crazy old topic now, but
Yeah.
send us a topic.
Or whenever we like post a flyer, we'll try to do it ahead of time.
Yeah.
If you post a flyer and you want to be part of that.
Because I have pastor friends. We have pastor friends. And some topic, I have a pastor come on.
Yeah. So
You dealing with something mentally, spiritually like that, yeah.
mhm. But we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We hope y'all have an amazing Thanksgiving. You know, y'all be safe, get to y'all people's, you know, places and stuff like that. You know, watch over yourself and watch over each other. Protect your peace. You know, stay focused, stay positive, smile. And as always, be smooth with it. We out.